It was a beautiful day earlier in the nation's capital as nightfall is upon us. Here tonight as we get set for the Washington Spirit and North Carolina Courage as they face off in the NWSL quarterfinals presented by Budweiser. Welcome in. I'm Josh Full, and with me is former U.S. international Casey White. And Casey, let's take a look at how the teams got here with the NWSL championship bracket.
The Chicago Red Stars with a 1-0 win over Gotham FC, advancing to play Portland, the #1 seed, next Sunday. Going to be a great matchup between those two.
And then you look at this Washington and North Carolina Courage teams. Winner will move on to take on OL Reign. As you look at back at what Washington Spirit unbeaten against North Carolina in this regular season this year.
Yes, they recently had a 2-1 victory over the Courage, and they're just in great form right now, having a lot of great results over the month of October recently.
And you look at what they have done over the month of October. They have won 4 straight, and they look to make it 5 here as they enter the playoffs here strong. But one of the players that you have to look out for Washington, well, obviously she stands out, this year's Golden Boot winner, Ashley Hatch.
Ashley Hatch is extremely dangerous. Obviously, winning the Golden Boot has the finishing touch. 10 goals in 20 regular season matches for the Washington Spirit. But she does so much just besides scoring, draws so much attention. But she's really been able to provide that scoring touch for them when they've needed it most.
7 of those goals coming at home. She'll hope to get another one here tonight. But another player that stood out this year for North Carolina, her first year with the Courage, Carson Pickett.
Carson Pickett has been excellent so far this year. She not only defends well, and she's nominated as one of the defenders of the year, but she's able to get forward. She has 5 assists on the season, really able to provide an attacking presence for the North Carolina Courage as well.
For the Courage, they really just squeaked into the playoffs. Going to draw against Portland, had some help with Washington taking down Houston, but they look to make a difference here in the playoffs.
Yes, and they're in. They got into the playoffs. They figured it out, and they're a team that's been here. They know what's expected at this part of the postseason, and they have the players to be dangerous and make a run here in the playoffs.
Every year in their existence with North Carolina, they have made the playoffs. They have the leaders around. They have the players that have performed in playoff past. They'll hope to lean on to some of those players like Dabinia today as we'll take a look at our lineups, and we'll begin with Sean Nahas in the North Carolina Courage.
There's so many things you can pick out about their lineup. Their box midfield, Dabinia in there really pulling the strings, but I really like the outside backs of the North Carolina Courage. We already talked about Carson Pickett, but Merritt Mathias, not only good defensively, but they can get up the field as well to provide opportunities.
And then on the other side for the Washington Spirit, this will be their starting 11 for Chris Ward.
Yes, and Aubrey Bledsoe in goal, another nominee for a goalkeeper of the year. But Sam Staub, they're in the center of the defense. Just a stalwart there, but also able to go forward as well.
You got possible rookie of the year as well in Trinity Rahman. Really 3 players up top for Washington Spirit that can be lethal. So North Carolina has their work cut out for them. Win and you move on to take on OL Reign. 90 minutes will decide that. When we return, we'll have opening kick for you from Audi Field. Welcome back. Moments away from opening kick at Audi Field as North Carolina looks to steal one on the road here against an explosive Washington Spirit side. Casey, you look at these two teams. Washington, unbeaten in their last 9, have won 4 straight. Meanwhile, North Carolina Courage, they just squeaked into the playoffs, found a way. They got a result against the Portland Thorns, had help from this Washington Spirit side, taking down Houston. For you, what do you need to see from North Carolina tonight?
The great thing is it starts over today. They have the attacking personalities to really be dangerous, and I want to see how many of them they can get further up the field and really generate scoring opportunities.
They have the players to do it as we are underway from Audi Field. Josh Tolan, former U.S. international, Casey White with you. North Carolina in the all-white kits. Meanwhile, the Washington Spirit in the blue tops and the red shorts. As there you see this year's Golden Boot winner, Ashley Hatch. She'll drop it back for Andy Sullivan, the glue of this team for the Washington Spirit. And Sean Nahas said they have to be aware of where Andy Sullivan is in the midfield. She's so good at connecting those lines and making those front 3 even more dangerous.
He called her the general. She really takes control of that area of the field and just so solid on the ball, and definitely a huge player for the Washington Spirit.
Merritt Mathias will play this back to Kaylee Kurtz, and Kurtz will play it into the circle, and Denise O'Sullivan The Irish national will play it out on the near side to Abby Erceg. Now back to Carson Pickett. Carson Pickett, of course, one of the nominees for this year's Defender of the Year. And what a year she's had for the North Carolina Courage. 5 assists on the season, 45 clearances to go with 7 blocks. She has been an absolute key force replacing Jaylene Daniels at that outside back, and that is one of the things that Sean Nahas talked about. Is really happy with what Carson Pickett has brought. She's been a massive piece, the way that she carries herself, serving balls in, box-to-box player, and really the technical ability, but more importantly, just a wonderful person in the locker room for this side.
Yeah, and you know, her ability speaks for itself, but what's great about her is she's on both sides of the ball, and that really is big for the way that North Carolina Courage want to play. They need to step up defensively in those wide channels. She does that so well, but she also is able to get forward and provide opportunities for them.
She has that natural left foot that is so dangerous, as O'Sullivan will play it forward. And here is Emily Sonnet. We've seen Sonnet this year play at the holding midfield position, but has really found herself a home once again at the center back spot here for the Washington Spirit. Washington Spirit, first time in the playoffs since 2016 when they lost to the Western New York Flash in the championship game. Meanwhile, for North Carolina, well, their history has shown they are one of the more dominant teams when it comes to the playoffs, have won back-to-back NWSL championships dating back to 2018 and 19. And here's the always dangerous Ashley Sanchez, has Rodman to her left, Hatch to the right, will go outside to Rodman. Rodman to that right foot. And this one won back by North Carolina. This will find its way all the way back to Sam Staub, the center back, and she'll push it all the way up to Casey Murphy. Casey Murphy, 11 clean sheets on the year, 96 saves, but she was left out of the goalkeeper of the year conversation. Sean Nahas was a little confused with that one, but talked about how good she has been for the side since coming over from OL Reign. And you look at what she's done, he said that she's probably saved them 8 or 10 points over the course of the season. Matthias approaching the area. Deflected out, and first corner of the evening for North Carolina.
And it's already end-to-end so quickly. The great defending of the North Carolina Courage when Rodman was going on one side, and then Merritt Matthias, you know, the outside backs getting up so quickly for the Courage as well. There's a lot of back and forth already as we begin.
You look at both these teams, they have an attacking unit up front with Sanchez, Rodman, Hatch, and then for North Carolina, Lynn Williams, Jess McDonald, and Amy Rodriguez. Really pick your poison for both sides. Now Pickett will drop this for Dabinia, trying to catch Washington off guard. Waste of a corner there is what it seems like more for North Carolina.
A bit of a cheeky moment trying to catch them off guard, as you mentioned, and just that little touch, and Rodman recognized it very, very quickly there to defend it well.
You look at when you have the players like Jess McDonald, Abby Urseg, the ability to go up in the air and be lethal with a header attempt, just seems like a mistake on that choice right there, getting a little too fancy too early. Pickett trying to bring it to her right side. Urseg, the captain once again for North Carolina. Kurtz will go out wide as this is brought down by Sanchez. The second-year player will play it inside. Taylor Almer getting the start this evening for the Washington Spirit. And Almer will leave it back for Staub. Onto the wing. This ball going direct, but back is Kaylee Kurtz. O'Sullivan out wide. Dabini on the far touchline, has Lynn Williams inside. That's where she goes. Recaro. Now Carson Pickett with it in the channel. Crossing. And this one just up and over the crossbar. Of course, you see Aubrey Bledsoe there, one of the goalkeeper of the year nominees for the Washington Spirit. Another tremendous year for the Spirit keeper. Staub will relay it back to Bledsoe. Bledsoe being pressured by Lynn Williams. One of the things that Sean Nahas talked about is this North Carolina team, they need to press today. They need to be consistent with the press, and they need to force mistakes from Washington.
And he really felt like they were starting to see that a little bit better, a little bit more cohesive against Portland recently in their last game. And he doesn't want to be chasing on an individual level, but collectively have that press where they can make it hard for the Spirit.
McDonald. And here's Kelly O'Hara. We'll drop it back for Sonnet. And Emily Sonnet will just play it to the near touchline. O'Sullivan back to midfield, and Kaylee Kurtz. McGrady inside. And now playing it over is Doreen Bailey. Here's Kelly O'Hara. O'Hara looking to go over the top, looking for Ashley Hatch, and up top of the box is Casey Murphy. Murphy knowing the speed and the idea that Washington wants to try to sneak their way behind that back line, playing a little bit further up.
And they have to control that space in front of the back line and behind the back line, because when Dorian Bailey gets on the ball there, you can see that she was able to get out of those 4 midfielders that are pressuring her to have a change of point, and then it's that service in behind, and they dealt with that really well here early on.
You look at this Washington side, Casey, a majority of a youthful team, very young roster, but you have the likes of Andy Sullivan, Kelly O'Hara, Emily Sonnet, Tori Huster as well, one of the players that can come off as a sub. How important is it for this Washington side to lean on those veterans?
It's a great mix. You have a little bit of everything, and I think that makes the overall team click, and that's important. But Chris Ward talked about how the younger players have to find ways to gain experience within the season, and they've done that. And yes, they're going to need to lean on those veterans at times, but now we're at the end of the season.
Sanchez just on the outside, fires away, and right at Casey Murphy. You look at the other side, though, for North Carolina, veterans with playoff experience all around, numerous players that have won a championship with his side. O'Sullivan. And Abe Rod will drop this off for Recaro. Recaro tripped up by Trinity Rodman. Here, trying to poke that to herself, getting back, though, as well as Trinity Rodman. That's one of the things that Chris Ward talked about going unnoticed in her game, is her defensive pressure that she brings. The Brazilian Debinha. Sanchez will drop this back, looking to get on the return, but it's going to roll out of play. Winner of this game will move on to the semifinals to take on OL Reign next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern in Tacoma, Washington. Debinha. Murphy goes into the circle. Patience at the moment by North Carolina. We talked to Sean Ahas about the playoffs. He talked about the focus and mentality that it takes. I love the experience that he has, rewarding that they were able to get to this point, have nothing to lose. They want to go on the road here to Audi Field and get a victory and keep that season alive and another chance to return to the NWSL championship.
That's what you want. You just want a chance to be able to compete for the championship, and they're here and on the road, you know, in these first 10 minutes, just looking to stay in this game and create opportunities.
Rodriguez playing up, but no one there for North Carolina. That was the wild card that Chris Ward was worried about, is Amy Rodriguez and what she brings to this team. Experience here in the NWSL as well as internationally. But a proven goal scorer everywhere she has been. And then you add in Jess McDonald, you add in Lynn Williams. If any of those players can get hot, and then, oh yeah, Debinha, it's a scary thought for a coach.
And it's a different spot for Amy Rodriguez, playing in that box midfield in more of an attacking position. But she is so dangerous when she's turned faced up running at players. Doesn't matter what position she's in. That provides a different look, having just her athletic ability and her agility in and out of that midfield space.
Look at Rodriguez coming in over a trade from Kansas City, sending Haley Mace, Kristen Hamilton, and Caitlin Rowland to now Kansas City Current. As Pickett works her way to the end line and hits it off O'Hara, and a corner coming for North Carolina. Well, last time they had a wasted opportunity. Let's see what they do here on the near side. Carson Pickett, 103 corners on the season. First season after coming over from the Orlando Pride. She'll drive it in, head it up, and Aubrey Bledsoe having to go up top for this one.
And Chris Ward talked about set pieces being something he really wanted to make sure that they defended well on the Washington Spirit. As this ball served in by Carson Pickett. Just a little bit of that push on the back post by Kurtz as she gets ahead on that, but Aubrey Bledsoe able to collect it either way. But they've defended so far so good on those first 2 corner kicks.
Sullivan on the return pass, but knocked away by Andy Sullivan. Sullivan will get it out wide. Looking for Trinity Rodman, chests it down, but offside flag is up against the rookie. And what a rookie year for Trinity Rodman. 6 goals to go with 6 assists. Best mark since Erica Timrack did it in 2013 when she had 6 goals and 4 assists for Kansas City.
And as a rookie, being able to not only finish, but to set up other teammates just shows how dynamic she is and how good her decision-making is. And she still has so much growth that she can have in her career, but to be doing that early on is great.
20 years old is Trinity Rodman, as this will find its way past the end line. Youngest American to score a goal in the NWSL. This one stolen away by Sanchez. Looking for Rodman, plays it to her feet. O'Hara. Going to send it to Sanchez, headed up. Almer will play it out wide. And then played away by Merritt Mathias. Great to see Merritt Mathias back on the field once again after being out last season with an injury. Such a key piece for this North Carolina Courage side at that right side outside back position. Recaro. North Carolina winless in their last 4 regular season games, but it doesn't matter how you get to the playoffs, it matters what you do in them. Looking to get back to winning ways, though, here on the road at Audi Field in the nation's capital. Williams. Recaro. Now to Mathias. Sanchez looking to time this up with Hatch, and well out of the area is Casey Murphy. Urseg. The captain will find Lynn Williams. Williams working her way inside. Rodriguez trying to avoid Sanchez. Lynn Williams with a shot, and that one right at Bledsoe.
And so much of that comes to that midfield matchup in there with Almer and Sullivan against A-Rod and Debinha. That space is so critical Amy Rodriguez able to play a great ball in, and just an unselfish run by McDonald to leave that for Lynn Williams for a great opportunity. But that space is going to be so important in that matchup both coaches talked about in that midfield space, who could control that and be able to pull the back line, out of their shape to create opportunities.
Almer. Now here's O'Hara. Almer trying to go diagonally, but stolen away once again by North Carolina. A chance here for the Courage to run. McDonald staying on side. And no offside flag was up. It looked like she timed that run. Sean Ahas and this North Carolina team ultimately finished with 9 wins on the season. Meanwhile, for the Washington Spirit, 11 wins in the regular season. We do know the result of the game earlier today. Chicago defeated Gotham by a score of 1-0. Mallory Pugh with the lone goal in that one. So Spirit moving on to take on the Portland Thorns next weekend on Sunday. That game will be at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, but also with that, the magnificent career of Carly Lloyd comes to a close. Was hoping to move on in the playoffs, but Chicago will move on to the semifinals. Urseg. On the near side is Pickett.
And doing a good job in possession here is North Carolina Courage. I like to see the center backs, both Kurtz and Ursig, just try to penetrate this space a little bit more so it draws Rodman out, and Carson Pickett is able to get a little further up the field here in their attack.
Pickett down the line for Williams. Pickett fanning on that attempt and got to Hatch for a moment, but Ricard right back with it for the Courage.
And that countermeasure shape that the North Carolina Courage is in is so important. Right when they lose possession of the ball, where are they to gain it back quickly? And Coach Sean Nahas talked about that. They don't want to be 15, 20 yards away from when the Spirit attackers are trying to launch their counterattack. They want to be close to trying to win it back quickly, and they were able to do that and regain possession.
Much different looking side for North Carolina without Sam Ewis, but you still have Dabini, you have Lynn Williams, you have Jess McDonald. There you get a great look at the captain, Andy Sullivan, once again. Sullivan getting her way back into with the national team. Pickett. Headed back by Sonnet, and a corner here for North Carolina. This ball driven in. And Williams was able to get up for that one, and we will have a goal kick for Washington. Get there, and Aubrey Bledsoe, one of the contenders for goalkeeper of the year. And when we talked with Chris Ward, talked about how hard it is to find someone that shows up and does the same diligence and attention to detail that Aubrey Bledsoe has. Always training and always preparing herself to be ready for each and every session, really refining her game day in and day out. Even when they have off days, she's always in there working. You can't take her off the field.
Yeah, and that's so critical for a backline to know that they have a goalkeeper that's dependable, that consistent. It gives confidence to that backline.
Sanchez looking for Rodman. A chance here maybe for the Spirit. Ball still loose, and now covering it up is Casey Murphy. Ashley Hatch right there, causing issues for North Carolina.
And that shows how dangerous they can be. Within 2 passes, they're down here. Rodman going down the right side. Great cutting ball back and just off the toe of Hatch. But Casey Murphy does a great job to make sure she smothers that. But that's off of a build out from a goal kick, finding Andy Sullivan, finding Ashley Sanchez, and then immediately in behind the back line. And they look to strike very quickly in those moments.
You look at Ashley Hatch, this year's Golden Boot winner with 10 goals. You go back to 2015, the last time a Washington Spirit won the Golden Boot, that was Crystal Dunn, who had 15 goals in 2015. Rodriguez. O'Sullivan. Near side and Pickett. O'Sullivan. Here's Lynn Williams. Lynn Williams will play it out wide for Merritt Mathias. Mathias looking across, steps inside, now sends it in with the left, looking for Dabini on that back post, and then blocked away by Bledsoe. Beautiful pass.
That's much better service from that wide area. Super dangerous to have it with that kind of pace to the back post area. This ball sprayed out to Mathias from Lynn Williams. And just a little bit of creativity here. This driven ball across, and Dabini does well just to pull off the back shoulder of O'Hara. Not able to execute there for the finish, but it's a really good service from the Courage.
This ball driven in. Recaro. Back out wide to Dabini in the channel. You look at this Washington Spirit side, they have made it difficult for opponents to score on them. They've just allowed 2 goals in the last 6 games, dating back to the 2 forfeits that they had earlier this year. Look at this back row for Washington Spirit, much different than it has been in years from the past, bringing over Kelly O'Hara as well as Emily Sonnet. This one headed back by Kurtz. Here's Abby Urseg. Hits off Rodman.
And there it is again. The build out from the goal kick results in an opportunity on the other end of the field. And the Courage actually are pressing in numbers, but the Spirit's attack just to create a 3v2 in that outside channel, then to find the change of point through Sullivan is allowing them to get forward against that press.
O'Hara. Quarterfinal action here in the NWSL playoffs, and of course NWSL Championship November 20th, 12 p.m. Eastern at Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. Tickets on sale at nwslsoccer.com/championship. So get out to Louisville. Well over 5,000 tickets have already been sold. Also get your tickets for next weekend's game when one of these 2 teams will face off against OL Reign in Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, Washington. Hatch wins the ball back for Washington. Hatch stepping aside. Hatch, of course, began her career with the North Carolina Courage, scored 7 goals her rookie season. Then ultimately went to the Spirit on a trade that brought Crystal Dunn over to the Courage, and I guess the trades worked out for both sides as well. And then now Crystal Dunn, though, moving on to the Portland Thorns, but won a couple championships with North Carolina. Sullivan and Ashley Sanchez discussing this as Sanchez now will walk away. Sullivan drives it into the wall. Look at this North Carolina side. Well, they haven't scored the amount of goals that they have in past seasons, but 12 different goal scorers on the year, most of any team in the NWSL.
They definitely have a lot of players that can create opportunities, and just figuring out how they're going to go forward together, what areas of the field that they're going to use to execute and create those opportunities.
Almer will play this back. O'Hara near side. Sullivan striding forward, gets by Carson Pickett, has O'Hara to her right. Will play it out wide. Sanchez to Hatch. Hatch at the top of the area. Headed up by Rodman and just over the crossbar.
And not a bad opportunity from the Spirit, but a couple first touches just let them down, and the Courage were able to get back into their shape and create a tight back line. That really was more of a hopeful opportunity than what they may have been able to have with a little bit better first touch in that final third.
It looked like Hatch had an opportunity there, just couldn't get the touch that she wanted to set herself up for a shot.
And a lot of the opportunity from the Spirit has been coming off the way they're pressing, and North Carolina Courage hasn't really been able to build out, so there's been a lot of turnovers, and they've been able to turn that into opportunities for the Spirit.
And Lynn Williams offside as the flag came up. Bledsoe will go out wide. Now pops it high into the sky. Grady trying to get underneath, but right there is Amy Rodriguez. Rodriguez with 5 goals on the season. Actually, before coming over to North Carolina, scored the first goal ever in Kansas City Current history. Careless giveaway right there by North Carolina.
The Spirit midfield is doing a really good job of just being patient and making the center backs be the playmakers, not allowing the midfield in their box formation to be able to get on the ball, and then those decisions happen where they're looking to play a little bit longer and more direct.
Collision there between Sullivan and Denise O'Sullivan. Sullivan turned away from O'Sullivan. Almer to the near side and O'Hara at midfield. Just slight misses here from both sides. Chopped down by O'Hara. Almer. We're going to scoop this over to Dorian Bailey. Sonnet. O'Hara will chip it in. Almer at the center of the pitch. Debinha, a chance here for North Carolina. Has Lynn Williams to her left. Debinha striding up for Rodriguez from distance, and that one rifled over the crossbar.
And when the Courage get facing forward off the dribble, they are dangerous. In that counter-attacking moment with Debinha here on the ball, it's causing the Spirit backline to retreat. The midfield can't get back and just opens up that space for Amy Rodriguez to be able to try that opportunity. But that's when they're looking the most dangerous. The Spirit have been really patient defensively, so the buildup isn't quite there for the Courage. But when they're able to get those turnovers, they're able to go forward.
Debinha eludes Elmer. Looking to cut that one back to A-Rod. Sonnet will push it to the left side of the field. Sanchez. Rodman. Good job there by the captain, Abby Ursek, to knock Rodman off the ball. Debinha with numbers pushing up for the Courage. Nice little slip pass to A-Rod, and that one parried away by Bledsoe. What a save from the Spirit keeper.
Wow, and that's how quickly they can strike, but an absolute great save by Bledsoe. And a great little slip ball in there from Debinha. And here, running at them again, and a little bit of a veteran defending move here by O'Hara to slow her down. But then right away, she finds that ball and a good finish, just at a height that Bledsoe can get a hand to. But a great save here to push it out for the corner kick.
Full tilt save there for Aubrey Bledsoe to keep a goal off the score sheet for North Carolina.
And really against where she was leaning. It was a great save, coming to her near post and still being able to make that.
Pickett, high arcing ball. Debinha with that clever little pass to Amy Rodriguez on that shot attempt. Matthias playing it out wide to Debinha. Chances by both sides, but the most dangerous coming from Amy Rodriguez. And just moments before, she struck a ball from about 23 yards out that just went over the crossbar.
She's been extremely active, making great runs, and forced a great save from Bledsoe. What was even better about the save was not only did she keep it out of the net, but forced it wide, no second chances for the Courage.
That's one of the reasons why she's up there for goalkeeper of the year here in the NWSL. Of course, Ashley Hatch up for Rookie of the Year. Or excuse me, Trinity Rodman up for Rookie of the Year. Ashley Hatch up for MVP on the season with the 10 goals. Bailey. Debinha at the halfway line. The way that Debinha's career has progressed, mainly came in as an offensive threat when she came to the NWSL, but has really worked on her defensive game here. As Matthias plays it in, looking for Lynn Williams, and just over her head. You look at Lynn Williams, 7 goals on the year. The first time she has not scored in double digits since the 2017 season. That's with NWSL regular seasons, not counting Challenge Cup Fall Series or any of those. Rodman working her way down the line, just too heavy of a touch. Offside flag up once against North Carolina. A few times they've been called for offside. It's one of the things they've done here over the course of the season, as well as in their existence with North Carolina, is just always trying to time those runs against that back line, as this is played across midfield, headed back by Hatch. Kurtz really taking over that center back role after the departure of Abby Dahlkemper. Two players around her, but able to get by them. Rodriguez.
And besides the attacking final third there and the final ball, it's better by the Courage, because once the Spirit gets set in defensively, it's very hard to penetrate their midfield. So they showed a little bit of patience around the back, you know, really baited them out to come press a little bit higher, and now they're able to find spaces in that midfield. Obviously, a little quality on the end would help, but being able to build up there is going to help them as they go on.
McDonald attacking the area. Now, her and Lynn Williams just not on the same page there. If that was supposed to be a shot to that back post, or if it was a cross ultimately, as Lynn Williams was making a diagonal run. Rodman. Almer out to Rodman. Now switching sides is Washington. O'Hara.
I think that wide space for O'Hara to get even further up the field against a box formation, really important, so you can have Carson Pickett, Merritt Mathias making decisions. Do they have to come out and defend or not, and how do they deal with that? And that will provide a little bit more 2v1s for the Washington Spirit.
McGrady looking to play that to Hatch, but headed back by Abby Urseg. O'Hara. Sanchez trying to turn away from Dabinia, still controls. Rodman. We're going to wait down the end line.
And just a lack of quality on that final service. You can see how dangerous she can be. She's quick and she's able to start to go in line, but just a little bit rushed there. There's still a little bit more time for her to put some more quality on the final service across the box.
Mathias being pressured here by Dorian Bailey. Urseg now coming up is Rahman, trying to force that miscue, and does, as it's won back by Washington, and then right back is Carson Pickett. All it takes is that one little mistake that one of these two teams could make for the other one to capitalize on it with the threats that they have up front on both sides.
And then you have both of these goalkeepers in goal, where a big save like we saw earlier can be the difference. Both such quality there, and so the finishing opportunities are going to have to be precise and very detailed.
O'Hara gets around O'Sullivan. Sanchez. Rodman looking to give it back to Sanchez, but could not get it around Carson Pickett. Matthias. Debinha. Now Recaro with it. Looking to give it back to Debinha. Finds Lynn Williams. Williams going out wide. Looks like Matthias just mistimed that more than anything. McGrady. Chested down by O'Sullivan. Chance here for Debinha. That one hits off the back of Sam Staub, but Debinha in control for North Carolina. McGrady right with her on the corner. Now Almer over to help as well. And a corner here for North Carolina.
Really well done by Debinha there. Just 2 against 1, able to get an opportunity here. And the service overall off the set pieces hasn't been of the quality that we usually see from the Courage. But they're always so dangerous here, and there's going to have to be a great defensive effort from the Spirit.
High lofting ball. Well, you know, the one team that's moved on to the semifinals already today was Chicago, getting the 1-0 victory earlier this afternoon over Gotham FC. In that game, Mallory Pugh with her first ever NWSL playoff goal. Sarah Walmo with her first playoff assist, and Cassie Miller with her first shutout in an NWSL playoff game. Also made 2 saves in that one. Gotham was shut out for the first time since October 6th. Frustrating way to end the season for Gotham. And you look at the career of Carly Lloyd officially coming to a close. Winner of this game moves on to take on OL Reign next weekend. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern in Tacoma, Washington. Sonnet. Good dummy ball there by Almer. See the pressure there by Sanchez, forcing the bad play, and then Kurtz clearing it away.
Just that little lack of quality in the final third for the Spirit. They're pressing well together and causing mistakes, but it's just a touch here or a touch there that can be the difference for them to take advantage.
McGrady crossing it. And there is the whistle to end the first half. Casey, your thoughts on the first 45 minutes of play?
When the Courage get in the half space in front of the back line of the Spirit, that's the part that they look the most dangerous and that the Spirit has to solve. But like I was just saying for the Spirit, I think it's just those final details in the final third that's just a little bit off for them to really execute in those moments.
So both these two teams will head to the locker room as we are scoreless at Audi Field at halftime between the Washington Spirit and North Carolina Courage. 45 minutes in the books. Which team will come out on top in this one? Back to the drawing board for each of these sides, and when we return, we'll have highlights and stats from this one as well as other action from around the NWSL here as we are underway in the quarterfinals. Welcome back. Scoreless at half between the Washington Spirit and the North Carolina Courage, as we'll take a look back here at the NWSL Championship bracket. And with the win earlier today for Chicago, they move on. They will take on the Portland Thorns at Providence Park next Sunday, 5:30 Eastern. That one on CBS. And then the winner here will go on to the Pacific Northwest to take on OL Reign. That one, 3 Eastern next Sunday, as we take a look at the highlights from the game earlier today between Chicago and Gotham.
And a great matchup here. Pugh on the ball, playing the ball wide, and just being able to push Gotham to the back, and just a scramble in front of goal, but they're able to clear Gotham and go the other direction. Pugh putting Gautrat in, and this service just goes into a dangerous area, but well defended there and able to be cleared out of danger. Gotham really tight passing here in this area, and just a little slip there, but makes the save, Cassie Miller, and just tight little passing. The Red Stars having to scramble, but nothing that was really causing problems for Miller, and trying to play out of the back. And Waldmo just steps in so great here for the goal from Pugh. And just what an amazing finish, curling it around, composed, well-timed run, great pace on the ball in behind to Pugh as she puts it away to put them up 1-0.
Mallory Pugh, one of those nominees for MVP on the season. She has been terrific for the Red Stars in her first season with the club. So you look at Chicago once again moving on to the semifinals. For Gotham, this was the first time in the playoffs since 2013, and it ends. And for Carly Lloyd, ultimately her career will end, as we will take a look back at the interview that she had after the game, just talking about this, as here it has a late chance, but offside flags up, as we will take a look at that interview.
Carly, you had quite some time to think about this moment. Now that it's here, how does the reality compare to any expectations you might have had?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not afforded another week with this team, but I'm really proud of the group. We played really well today. We've really turned this club around, and I'm very excited to see the future of this club, because it's in good hands. This group is amazing on and off the field. I'm proud, and I'm sad as well, because this is it, and it's really sunk in today, but I can't be more proud of this group, and the future's really bright for them.
Speaking about you and your career of the last few weeks, there's just been outpouring of love and gratitude towards you. What has become apparent to you about the impact you've made?
I think for so long I've just been playing this sport and trying to be the best that I possibly can and help my teams. I think the biggest thing that I'm taking away is how many people I have impacted, and I don't think that I realized that in the moment, and I think I'm realizing that more and more. But for me, that's more special than any trophies and any championships won. The amount of people that I've been able to impact through my story and just being my authentic self, I'm proud of that. And although I won't be on the field ever again, I'm going to help this game grow and try to be a part of anything I possibly can to keep this sport growing.
Carly, from all of us who got to watch you play and experience your career, thank you for everything you've done, and congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Carly Lloyd with her tremendous impact in the game of soccer, and a tremendous impact for players that are playing right now and players that hope to aspire to be as good as she is one day in the future. But here at Audi Field, we are scoreless at half. When we return, we'll have first half highlights and stats from Audi Field. Welcome back, as we are scoreless at half between the Washington Spirit and North Carolina Courage, as we'll take a look back at the highlights from the first 45 minutes of play between these two sides.
And in the 16th minute, starts things off here. Ashley Sanchez, just a little ball in behind for Trinity Rodman, and a great ball across, causes a little bit of havoc in front, but Casey Murphy able to smother it there. Ashley Hatch looking to get that 11th goal and first of the playoffs this year, but Casey Murphy denies her here.
Good job being active early by the Washington Spirit. Both sides would have chances here in this opening 45 minutes of play.
Williams plays a great ball into that wide space, and Merritt Mathias just taking her opportunity, cutting back to her left foot, and a great ball off the back shoulder of O'Hara. Debinha pulls away, able to get ahead on the ball, and Bledsoe able to make sure that that does not go in the net. Debinha does very, very well here. Not getting it quite on target, but still a dangerous opportunity for the Courage. And in the 33rd minute, Debinha will continue to find this half space here, and a great penetrating run by Amy Rodriguez. And what a save to make sure there's no second chance opportunity. But this is great by Debinha, just slowing things down, letting them settle, and then finding Amy Rodriguez in behind. But strong hands there by Bledsoe to keep it out.
Great save there by the Washington keeper, as we will take a look here at the fans enjoying this game. The question is, will the home side move on to the semifinals, or will the visitors in North Carolina? We'll find out as we will return with the second half kick from Audi Field. Moments away here from second half kick between the Washington Spirit and North Carolina Courage. But before we get back to the action, let's take a little time to get to know a little more about Sam Staub with today's BioBlast presented by MasterCard. First round draft pick in 2019. That's really where the core of this team was built in that 2019 draft. Assisted the game-winning goal that clinched the 3 seed for this year's playoffs. Has played every minute of her rookie season and scored in her first game. You look at Sam Staub, going up until this year, she really had played every minute before an injury held her out. She's been absolutely crucial to that back line here for the Washington Spirit.
She is. Consistency is the word for Sam Staub. Accuracy of pass, the ability to be simple, keep possession, on top of all of her defending qualities as well.
And just moments here away from the second half. Casey, for you, what are you looking for from this Washington side as they look for that first goal?
I'd like to see the outside backs get a little more involved in the attack. O'Hara and McGrady, that's the space that's open against the Courage at this point, but they've got to get involved higher up the field to make the outside backs of the Courage make decisions.
And the question is, are we going to have maybe our first substitution of the game with the possibility of Tori Huster, the veteran, coming on? She was actually the only player remaining from that 2016 team, the last time the Washington Spirit made the playoffs. Every season she has been with this Washington side. Casey, for you though, on the other side for North Carolina, what are you looking for from the Courage?
They've been successful when they're in that space in front of the back line, and it's really been about that counter-attacking moment. So it's going to be the finishing details for them in those moments, and then can they build up a little bit more in possession? Can they find some spaces in order to break lines and keep a little bit more possession of the ball? So
Tori Huster will come in for Taylor Almer, and now Huster, you bring in another veteran presence for this Washington Spirit side, as this is played back to Sam Staub and now over to McGrady. That's going to be the key, is how do these coaches use their substitutions moving forward? They bring a player on maybe for a jolt of energy, maybe someone for defensive presence. How do they make these in-game adjustments?
And Almer did well in possession, especially for the Washington Spirit. Very simple, was able to really provide a connection with Andy Sullivan in there, Dorian Bailey at times, even Ashley Sanchez as she has that free floating role. But Tori Huster has so much experience to be able to come in, especially on the defensive side, and really make sure that there's no gaps in midfield.
You like that sub be made right at half as opposed to maybe waiting until the 60th or 65th minute?
Yeah, I think sometimes you don't know what might be going on in the locker room, so there could be something beyond just the tactical piece, but I think it provides a little bit of a different look and maybe isn't as expected coming in at the halftime.
Hatch here with an opportunity as she works her way towards the touchline, playing now down the channel for Ashley Sanchez. Sanchez crossing, looking for Rodman, coming up late. Sullivan takes a ricochet and goes out of play across the end line.
Very unselfish by Rodman to let that come by her, and actually saw Andy Sullivan coming in, but a good opportunity there and just too many bodies in front. But this build-up play on the left side was great. Sanchez, early ball across, that first run from Rodman, and side-footing it in is Andy Sullivan, but that deflection from the Courage keeps him off the board.
In our calls with Chris Ward, he's talked about how he wants to see Sullivan more aggressive offensively. She's a player that can score, but looking for a little bit more from her in the attack as this is driven into the near post. Sonnet just barely missed that one, now trying to track it down as Andy Sullivan, and does. O'Hara to that left foot, and that one tipped over by Murphy. So now both goalkeepers with tremendous saves here in this game tonight.
Very dangerous from the Washington Spirit. Andy Sullivan does well just to keep possession in the final third, and Kelly O'Hara isolates Jess McDonald, and a great attempt here, and Casey Murphy does so well to push that over the bar.
You go back to O'Hara, what a career she's had in 2014, led Sky Blue in scoring with 7 goals, 5 assists that year. Nearly a goal right there if Casey Murphy doesn't get her fingertips on that one. Huster blocked away. Rodman. Opportunity now for Hatch. Hatch turning away for Sullivan.
And Sullivan is in that higher position, which you spoke about, Chris Ward wanting her to be a little bit higher up the field. And you can tell even just in these first few minutes, she is higher. She's keeping them locked in more. And it's, while it wasn't the finish she probably would have wanted, there's opportunities coming from her, not just in build-up play.
Casey Murphy, you look at what she did over the season, 11 clean sheets, 96 saves, tied best for the league in the NWSL with Michelle Betos. A tremendous stop just moments ago from a player that was left off that goalkeeper of the year. Probably should have been on it. But there's always that little debate on who should be on it, who's not on it. But here, a great save now from Aubrey Bledsoe in the first half and Casey Murphy here early in the second half.
And that could be the difference. These goalkeepers coming up with these big saves. Who's going to be either making those saves or be more clinical in the penalty area to find that go-ahead goal?
Sanchez. Hard collision there up top of the area, but our referee says no foul as Natalie Simon in control of the middle of the field. Huster the lone sub so far. Huster. Hatch. Went right at that back line. Little step over. Rodman. Huster. Brings it to her left foot. Crossing, looking for Rodman.
And it's a dangerous ball because the Courage back line is facing towards their own goal. Would love to see that on the ground to cause even more issues, but a really good look right here to try to just find that space behind the back line as they're retreating, and Rodman coming through and getting ahead on it. Just not time to be able to get that on frame.
Chris Ward was so impressed by how quickly she adapted to this league, the pro mentality that she has, really the ability that she has talking tactics and learning different things in situations over the course of the season. Talked about how the league was very physical with her at the start of the season, but she was able to adjust to that and really has continued to grow. Just the way that she works throughout the season and how humble she is as well as a player.
100%. He talked about her just being resilient, right? There's so many ups and downs for a player, but especially for a rookie and someone as young as she is. And he's just been so impressed by her ability to stay humble, keep getting after it, keep learning, keep watching others, being inspired by others, and it's just helped her grow this season.
You also look at it, she didn't even play in college. She was supposed to play with Washington State, but because of COVID, did not play, and then ultimately comes in to the NWSL draft, drafted number 2 overall, and she did not disappoint in her rookie season. 6 goals and 6 assists. There she is once again on the ball, trying to get around Carson Pickett. Talked about Sam Staub being part of that 2019 draft. Washington Spirit doing an excellent job developing their players. This one driven in, and one hops into the arms of Aubrey Bledsoe. O'Hara. O'Sullivan for McDonald. Now Debinha. Debinha out wide. O'Sullivan. O'Hara in pursuit. Pickett crossing. That one off the foot of McDonald. Batted away and then sent away by Washington. Near first goal right there for Jess McDonald and the Courage.
What a save from 3-4 yards out. And this is such a dangerous ball played in here by Carson Pickett in behind the back line. And just that deflection there. But McDonald able to get a touch, but what a save there from Bledsoe.
Lynn Williams nearly got that with her head, and then it finds the foot of McDonald. But another great save from Aubrey Bledsoe. Rodman. Pressure here by Huster. Murphy will send it back to midfield. McGrady. Sanchez. McDonald has A-Rod inside, as well as Lynn Williams making a run. Looking to play this out to Williams, and coming out at the 6 is Aubrey Bledsoe.
And Spirit's enjoying the possession of the ball, but when they lose possession, the countermeasures, they're a little bit far off. So North Carolina Courage is really able to find that space and run at them, and it's dangerous for the Courage. So that space in front really needs to be solved to limit those chances in the counterattack.
Recaro. McDonald. Now the Brazilian Debinha. Great win there by Sam Staub, the player that we just pointed out at half. Chicago moving on earlier today with a win over Gotham by a score of 1-0 as they will head to take on the Portland Thorns at Providence Park. The winner of this one will take on OL Reign as this is chipped on. Rodriguez blocked away. Both semifinal games next Sunday. We'll have them here for you as well. NWSL Championship November 20th, 12 p.m. Eastern on CBS. You can get your tickets on sale now, nwslsoccer.com/championship. And now a corner here for North Carolina. Pickett playing it forward. Debinha. This one off O'Hara, and it will trickle over the end line, and a corner once again here for North Carolina. Seventh corner of the night now for North Carolina. Recaro chipping it in. Late run by McDonald. Ball still loose. McDonald comes up and lets it roll out. And once again, setting up on that near side will be North Carolina and Carson Pickett.
And that's a better initial service by the Courage. It's more driven into that space. Sam Staub does really well to get to it, but it's a more dangerous serve in the area.
Inward swinging ball coming. Recaro. Pickett to that back post. Heading down is Urseg, and smothering this ball is Aubrey Bledsoe. Good chances there for North Carolina, unable to take advantage though.
And a good ball by Pickett to the back post area. Just not able to get enough on that header, but Ursig does well to get it down and force a save from Aubrey Bledsoe.
Ursig does have a goal on the season. Came just like that on a cross attempt off the corner. Hear the fans chanting Aubrey Bledsoe. Dabinia. Trying to squeeze by McGrady. He does get by her. Headed away by Sonnet. Now sent away by Sanchez. Kurtz leading the team in clearances this season for North Carolina. Diagonal ball looking for McDonald. McDonald timing that run in. Bledsoe had to come up to the top of the 18. Both teams have the ability to stretch that back line, and you're seeing it here this evening.
There's definitely not a lack of pace on the field, and they're able to do it both off the dribble and with those penetrating runs. And the last few minutes has been better by the Courage. They've really been able to keep a little bit more possession to allow for more chances forward.
Earlier game today, Chicago taking down Gotham. Mallory Pugh with a lone goal, now one assisted by Sarah Waldman, but also saw the end of the career of Carly Lloyd. You were able to play with Carly Lloyd. What was she like as a teammate, and then just to see her career come to a close here today?
Just the ultimate professional, the ultimate competitor, day in and day out. And you heard it in that interview. She never really thought about the impact she was having. She just wanted to give everything she had every day for her team, for the people she was competing against, and just maximize herself. And that's what I'll always remember about playing with her, was her ability to do that and be professional day in and day out.
McDonald to Williams. Ryman now looking to spring a counter. Gets around one defender, but back deep is Lynn Williams. Here's Rahman with again, just her energy does not stop that work rate. O'Hara to the captain, Sullivan loses possession. Rodriguez. And A-Rod will play into the circle, and Recaro to the near side, and Merritt Mathias. Good movement here by the Courage. Chance here, and that one off the frame. It goes out. Rodriguez on the ground, and that one stopped by Bledsoe. Opportunity missed right there by North Carolina.
Wow, everything about that entire buildup to the attempt on frame was so high class. The way they built up in the wide channel, everything about it, to the ball across to that attempt on goal.
Sometimes that woodwork can be a goalkeeper's best friend. In that case, it was for Aubrey Bledsoe, what looked like a sure goal for North Carolina. North Carolina, we talk about an off season where they didn't have the goals that they're used to. 54 in 2019, which is an NWSL record. 2018, they had 53. But a team that in the past could absolutely score at will.
And now they're starting to enjoy a little bit more possession, and they're able to break lines more. So those opportunities that are coming, yeah, while they had them in the first half, they were off individual efforts. Now it's in the run of play, and they're better opportunities and more clear opportunities for them.
McDonald for Dabinia. Chance here once again, maybe for the Courage. And a good challenge there by the center back, Sam Staub.
And the ball in behind by Amy Rodriguez to Matthias to play that early right across. And Dabinia, what a chance right there from her. What a strike. And then A-Rod able to get the rebound, but Bledsoe not allowing it, but just unlucky here. Just an excellent strike from Dabinia.
Saw Amy Rodriguez's arms go out. She thought that was a goal. And then she had an opportunity to put it in with that left foot, but couldn't get it by Aubrey Bledsoe. Question is, who's going to come up in this game with the win? We will go to overtime if it happens. If we are scoreless after 2 periods, 15 minutes each, we will go to the penalty mark if it comes to it. O'Hara. Bailey. Rodman. Across. Huster off the volley.
And both teams are so dangerous when they get a midfielder higher up in front of the back line, running at the back line. That's when you're seeing both sides right now really generating their best chances.
Dabinia gets through McGrady. Dabinia sprinting up the field. McGrady in pursuit and cleared away once again by Sam Staub. Good job timing that. Washington Spirit, first time in the playoffs since 2016 when they fell to the Western New York Flash in the championship. Meanwhile, North Carolina every year in the playoffs in these past 3 seasons. Sanchez. Poor touch there by Bledsoe, and now a corner coming for North Carolina. Just a little bit too heavy on that one. Goalkeeper of the year in the NWSL in the past. Look at her and Kaylin Sheridan, 108 saves in the 2018 season. To the back post. Rodman back to O'Hara. Pressure here from A-Rod.
And Rodriguez just trying to put pressure on O'Hara here. Tries to pull out a little bit there, but draws the foul.
'67th minute from Audi Field in our nation's capital. Scoreless between Washington and North Carolina. Josh Tolan, former U.S. international. Casey White with you this evening. Winner moves on to play OL Reign next Sunday. That game will be at 3 p.m. Eastern at Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, Washington. This year's NWSL Shield winners being the Portland Thorns, as they will host the Chicago Red Stars next weekend. Last time those two teams met, you go back to the semifinals in 2019. Chicago getting the victory 1-0. Chicago would then go on to fall to this North Carolina Courage side in the NWSL championship. Casey, here, are you thinking right now that we might see any more subs here from the coaches, or do you like the way that both teams are playing and you'd rather see these two teams stay put at the moment?
I think it will happen in this half, but right now, if I'm the Courage, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing over the last 10 minutes or so. But now you do see some Spirit players warming up there, looking like they may make some changes. From the Courage, they've really established some possession here, and it's going well.
Williams. Here's Rodriguez. Playing it out wide. O'Hara there for Washington. No one outside in the vicinity for North Carolina. Ursek, the captain. Diagonal ball. Williams. McGrady getting back in front of Lynn Williams. Dangerous pass inside. Now Dabinia in control. The Brazilian to Williams. Williams crossing in, repelled away, but not cleared fully as Riccaro's going to put a shot on, and that one blocked away, went off Dabinia. Lynn Williams just on outside the area. Rahman collides with Merritt Mathias.
And that's just smart right there, trying to make sure something's slowed down, and if it ends up being a foul, but just professional in the way she's trying to slow the play down, because they were in a bad spot there, the Courage.
And now we will see those substitution as McKeown will come on, and off will go Tegan McGrady. And Sanchez will come off. And Julia Rotter will come in for Sanchez. So Rotter in for McGrady, and then McKeown in officially for Sanchez. And here's McKeown. McKeown tripped up, and here comes a free kick, and this at a very dangerous spot. O'Sullivan trying to plead her case, and Natalie Simon, she'll listen, but she's not going to buy it. Now Andy Sullivan and Tori Huster will line up. We saw Sullivan take a couple free kicks earlier in the first half. Sullivan. Lynn Williams goes up for that, but Huster right on it, and an opportunity here. And that one hit off a defender. Might have been Kurtz there.
And just really caught ball watching the Courage on the clearance there, and Huster takes advantage to get an opportunity forward. Ball in by Sullivan to that back post area. Not really able to find the back of the six, but Huster steps here, the left-footed strike. It just puts it into a dangerous area to earn the corner kick.
Looks like that ended up going off Carson Pickett there. Near post, punched up by Murphy, headed on by Rahman. Sonic going over the back there, knocking down the captain, Abby Urseg.
And the ball in by Sullivan. This ball goes in the air. Just lots of challenges in there. Rodman keeps it alive, and just a hard challenge. She's not looking to take out Ursig there. She's looking at the ball the entire time and trying to win it.
Dabini with a little back heel, but no one there as Rodder able to get it forward to the Spirit. Now Hatch playing out wide for McKeown. McKeown in the channel, coming back is Matthias. Hatch for Huster. O'Hara. McKeown from the top of the area, and that one blocked away by Matthias and Kurtz. Rodder. Sullivan with little space here. And that one stopped by Casey Murphy. Took a deflection there off Kaylee Kurtz, but not enough to do any damage.
And Sullivan getting into that higher position there, and I think these subs have been well timed. The Courage really were pressing better together. It was more of a collective, causing that chaos for the Spirit. And since the subs have come in, it's been a little bit better for the Spirit and the way they're able to attack.
Careless giveaway there by North Carolina. O'Hara sending it into the area. Hatch, McKeown, and that one batted away by Murphy. What a goal that could have been for the rookie McKeown. Huster. Casey Murphy, another solid night for North Carolina. Really a great goalkeeping performance from her as well as Aubrey Bledsoe this evening.
O'Hara just taking a peek, trying to get a ball in, and Hatch helps it on. Just not able to get the pace on it, but still forces a save from Murphy and able to keep it out of a dangerous area. But a good opportunity from McKeown for the Spirit.
McKeown, one of the two subs used by the Spirit here in the second half, the other one being Julia Rodder. I guess Tori Huster officially started off subbing on right at the start of half. O'Hara. Bailey into Sullivan. Huster. McKeown to that right foot. Huster, and that one blocked away by Kurtz. Good job winning the ball back by Sonnet. Weaves through traffic. Looking for McKeown. McKeown and company really jump-started here after the sub. And now we'll have a substitution as Meredith Speck will come in, and she'll replace Amy Rodriguez. Speck, 2 goals during the regular season. This game is tied at the end of regulation. There will be 2 15-minute periods of extra time. If it's still tied after those 2 periods, there will be a penalty kick shootout. Huster. Now a chance here for Bailey. Bailey with that right foot, and that one knocked away by Murphy. Still, it blows my mind that she was not nominated for Goalkeeper of the Year and what she did this season. Tyna, NWSL league record with 11 clean sheets on the year, 80 France. The only other keeper to do that in 2017.
And you can just see the shift in momentum since those subs for the Spirit. So many more opportunities, and sometimes it just changes the way the game goes. But Dorian Bailey does well here as they try to cover the pass to sneak off a shot to that far post area, and a great save by Murphy. But it really has changed that momentum as they've come in, and not only just different types of players, but just stopping the attack of the Courage for a little bit. Just for 30 seconds to get those subs seems to have slowed them down.
McKeown battled off the ball by Lynn Williams, and a goal kick coming for North Carolina. Five saves on the night for Casey Murphy, 8 saves on the night for Aubrey Bledsoe. Caro to the near side, and Lynn Williams. Scoop pass. Minutes remain. We do have a player down on the far side of the field for Washington. Looks like they're just tying their shoe, though. It's Trinity Rodman. So Rodman actually taking a look now at her foot. So he's taking the boot off. Looks like everything is good to go, though, as the sock comes back on. Shin guard in. Trinity Rodman nominated for Rookie of the Year, as well as Vicky Pickett of the Kansas City Current and Emily Fox. Emily Fox, of course, with Racing Louisville, and our NWSL Championship will be held in Louisville at Lynn Family Stadium on November 20th. Get your tickets now at nwslsoccer.com/championship. That game at 12 p.m. Eastern. Chance here now for McDonald. Williams. It's one of those ones where you thought McDonald was going to continue forward, but elected to come back and play it outside to Lynn Williams.
You're absolutely right. An aggressive first touch, like a 3 to 5 yard touch, just to get her in behind and cut off the run from the defender. I thought she was going to be in there.
More than 8 minutes remains in regulation. This game is tied here. We will go to 2 extra periods of 15 minutes. This is headed away. Now pushed back in by Recaro. Recaro trying to turn away from Huster. Avoids her. Matthias. Recaro. Bailey right with her. O'Sullivan. Gets it back from Dabinia. O'Sullivan crossing off the knee of Staub and up into the top of the webbing.
And such good play in the final third there from the Courage.
creating a chance there, and Staub in the perfect position to at least knock that off her leg in a corner here for North Carolina coming. Chance here for Williams, but sends it up and over. That is one that she would like to have back if she can bury that.
And this corner is organized so well. It's just you have to be able to finish in those moments. And she just hits it on the bounce up rather than striking it right when it hits the ground and it flies over. But it's organized, it's dangerous, much better service, and just not able to get over that volley.
Sonnet will step over. Rodder. Chance here now for Rodder to cross, looking. Had Hatch in the middle, but could not connect on the pass.
Matthias narrowed that area so well to make sure that little slip ball wasn't played behind.
Sullivan. Huster. McKeown. Inside to Hatch. Hatch going out wide, and offside flag is going to be up. More than 5 minutes remains here between Washington and North Carolina at Audi Field. Is still having issues with her shoe is Trinity Rodman. Three substitutions so far for Washington, one for North Carolina. Lone sub at the moment for the Courage, Meredith Speck in for Amy Rodriguez. Huster will head it out wide. And now a throw here for Speck in North Carolina. Into the circle, Recaro. This ball played down the line. Collision there between Hatch and Recaro. Pickett. Now to the near side of Matthias. Matthias on the edge of the area, and this one goes off the foot of Dorian Bailey.
That's better by the Courage. Matthias getting higher up the field. It just allows them to create more of those 3v2, 2v1 opportunities. And it's just showing that there's success in that when they're able to get players higher up the field.
And now back on is Trinity Rodman as this is lofted up, headed up. Just wide by Lynn Williams. She's had a couple great opportunities here in this last 5 minutes of play. And you look at this replay by Lynn Williams going up for this ball.
And it's going to that backside of the 6-yard box. As soon as she heads this, I'd love to see someone crashing in onto the far post, what becomes the far post there, because just if it's off frame, someone that's alert in that area can be the difference.
You go back to the most saves in a playoff game. You go to 2019. Semifinals for the North Carolina Courage. For Casey Murphy in that one, she had 11 saves against the Courage. Right now, she's at 7. Aubrey Bledsoe is at 8. So we might see another record if not tied, possibly broken. Dabinia. Vaccaro, Pickett. Now can be McCune and company counter. Give it right back to Abby Urseg. Hatch has McCune out to the right, Rodman to her left. I feel like she wanted to go to Rodman, but that pass broken up by Abby Urseg. Latest game winner ever in NWSL playoff regulation, Denise O'Sullivan in the 89th minute for Chicago in the 2017 semifinals, giving North Carolina a 1-0 win. Can Dabinia get one here? No, this one goes wide. That would have tied that mark set by O'Sullivan. So now we could possibly get an even later one.
And that space behind Andy Sullivan and Dorian Bailey is just getting bigger and bigger. They don't want to concede the space behind, but it's allowing Dabinia to get in that space. Lynn Williams, Jess McDonald, and that matchup in there between Dabinia and Speck now and Bailey and Sullivan is vastly important to both sides.
Chance now for Rodman. Rhythm really in this last 10 minutes or so has really switched in favor to North Carolina.
And really in this half, they have really had the majority of possession. When there were the two subs, McKeown and Rodder came in, there was a slight change there just to quell that a little bit, but they've reestablished possession here and have created the more chances and generated more attacks.
Williams, that one poked away by Sonnet. Speck. North Carolina is just going to reset. All direct. Stop. Able to get enough of that with her head. McDonald right there. McDonald was right in between the two defenders. If she's able to get her head on that one, could be game over. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Our stoppage time presented to you by Verizon. No stoppage time in the first half, but 2 here in the second half. Huster to Rodman. We've never had a playoff game in the NWSL scoreless heading into overtime. Say scoreless here at extra time. 2 15-minute periods will be played, and then if we need to, we will go to the mark. Regulation coming to a close here, but maybe a chance for Washington right now to get a late game winner. That one flicked on, but right there is Casey Murphy. What a moment that could have been for Trinity Rodman. So it looks like we could be headed to extra time here between Washington and North Carolina. We'll have a short break before returning. Allow these players to catch their breath, get a little hydration, get some extra words of encouragement, maybe some readjustments. And there is the whistle. Casey, your thoughts here on the 90 minutes of play as we get set here to go to extra time?
Really, it's coming down to what's happening in the penalty area. These goalkeepers have been huge for both teams, and just the details in finishing is what's going to be so important going into these overtime periods.
So Casey Murphy and Aubrey Bledsoe will head off the field and get a little break. We'll be back with the first period of extra time when we return right here on CBS. At the end of regulation, this one ends scoreless, so you know what that means. 30 minutes extra time coming, broken up into two 15-minute halves here, essentially, as we'll take a look at the NWSL championship bracket. And you look at Chicago taking down Gotham earlier. They will move on to face Portland at Providence Park. That one on Sunday, 5:30 Eastern. Still waiting to figure out who's going to be heading to Tacoma to take on OL Reign. That one also Sunday at 3 Eastern.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great matchup between Portland and Chicago, just both dynamic attacks. And this game today has just been back and forth, kind of a tale of two halves, to be honest with you.
For Portland, Chicago, rematch of the 2019 semifinals, which ultimately Chicago would win and move on to get to their first ever championship game, falling to this North Carolina Courage side. And you see Casey Murphy there. On the other side, you have Aubrey Bledsoe. Both have been terrific tonight for their respective clubs.
They've shown up when they've needed to. They've been able to make saves when they've needed to, and that's what you need in a goalkeeper in these moments, to be big, to be able to come up big for the back line. I'd love to see a little bit more quality on the finishing and the crossing, just little details, but these are tough goalkeepers to score on. It's not so easy.
Are you looking for any type of change here in this first 15 minutes of play in extra time?
Again, I'd like to see Andy Sullivan get a little higher. I think when she is doing that, like you mentioned earlier, it offsets the midfield a little bit more, and the Spirit are able to get more players forward. So I think that would help them, as North Carolina Courage has had more of the run here recently.
We are on our way to extra time here in the quarterfinals between the Washington Spirit and North Carolina Courage at Audi Field in our nation's capital. Josh Toll and Casey White with you this evening, as Tori Huster will play it back to midfield, and Emily Sonnet now Staub had a couple of good challenges there in the second half. Also a good clearance on a shot attempt as Rotter pushes up into the area. Rotter crossing square ball, but no one there. Hatch was just a little bit ahead in that 6-yard box. Jess McDonald, she was also very effective there in those final 10 minutes of play, as well as Lynn Williams. Saw the rhythm switch in the very start of the second half. It was very much in favor of Washington, but then towards the end, North Carolina taking control.
They did. They started to be able to take advantage of the numbers up in midfield in their box midfield 4v3 and able to generate attacks from there.
Hatch striding up, playing it out wide to Rodman. Ursek there for a moment, but Hatch back with it. Headed away. Bailey drives it on, and that one knocked over by Murphy.
And while the Spirit attack at times seems a little bit disjointed, they're finding ways still to keep it in the attacking third, just not letting the Courage play out, taking advantage of the clearance there. And Bailey, this is a great strike and forcing a save from Murphy, but they're opportunistic, the Spirit, and they're figuring out ways to generate chances, even if it might not be quite as fluid in that area.
Just one career goal for Dorian Bailey, but she has had two marvelous strikes here in this game, really catching North Carolina Courage off guard. Stop going up for this one, but right there, Casey Murphy for the Courage. Casey Murphy coming in over with a trade from OL Reign to North Carolina, and she has been absolutely terrific this year. O'Hara. Hatch. O'Hara. Into Huster. Huster gets around Urseg. Sullivan near side to Dorian Bailey. Matthias right with her on the hip.
That starts with Kelly O'Hara being higher up the field. Now you see Rotter higher up the field. It's hard at times because North Carolina Courage can attack so quickly if they win the ball, but because they only play with two forwards, the Spirit can go forward a little more in those wide spaces.
Rotter. McKeown. Falling down was Hatch there. McKeown. That one headed away by Kurtz. McKeown to that right foot. And now Lynn Williams will send it away. Dabini able to get around Rotter, but right there is Sam Staub. Dabini across his midfield, has McDonald ahead. That's where she looks to go. McDonald and Aubrey Bledsoe able to get to the ball before McDonald. Bledsoe in that dangerous spot at the top of the area, had to kick that one away.
And that's so critical for a goalkeeper to be able to help manage that space in behind the back line, because if you drop too deep, then they're going to play in front of you. At this level, they're smart enough to make those decisions. Sean Nahas talked about that, figuring out throughout the game what spaces they're being given and how that might change and evolve. So Bledsoe being able to come in behind and solve that's really important.
Now Matthias will hand this over to Kaylee Kurtz. Long throw. The captain Sullivan will relay back to the center back Staub. Sonnet will work her way up the middle. Now to the near side and Julia Rotter. McKeown with a little space, but coming back is Dabinia. McKeown, this one blocked down by Urseg. Oh, McKeown showing no fear here since she is subbed on. Has not been afraid to work her way up the channel or cut across the middle of the field.
She likes to come into that inside space for sure, and is trying to draw defenders out, you know, just to be a little bit more unpredictable, which has been good. She's definitely looked for opportunities to go 1v1 and take risks.
The giveaway here by the Courage. Now, Washington looking to capitalize. And then tripping over was Huster, and now Huster slow to get up. And the training staff will come. You saw her lose her footing there as she hit the turf. Hopefully nothing serious, and her ankle just getting caught up. As the 9-year veteran, every season with the Washington Spirit is on the ground.
And this ball, she just looks to play in behind and got caught up there and looked like it really hurt as she went down in that area, twisting on the turf there.
Yeah, that run there as she's being stretched out. You hope as her calf is looked at that she's all right and she'll be able to continue on. The 3 subs used so far by Chris Ward. 7 minutes into extra time, scoreless here between Washington and North Carolina. Here during this break, Casey, you're getting some water, you're getting those fluids. Are there any changes being made right now, or are you just sticking to what happened at the start of this extra time?
Reinforcing what's working for you. Maybe a few reminders, you know, as Huster is able to get up here with her staff. But just a few reminders of, hey, the Courage might do this, Washington Spirit might do this, be aware, but just reinforcing the habits that are going well for them.
Huster used as a sub to start this second half, coming on for Taylor Almer. And she's being carried off the field, and this is another part where Washington now will look to probably have to go to their bench for another substitution. You can see the disappointment, the frustration on Tori Huster's face as she's going right back to the locker room, and we will have that substitution. So now Anna Helferty will come in. So Tori Huster, unfortunately, will have to exit, and now Helferty in. Williams unfortunate part about that, Tori Huster was having an impact here in the second half for Washington as well. Pickett. And the giveaway. A chance here for the Spirit to counter. They have numbers moving up the field. Hatch in the circle. Rodder wanted to find McKeown as this will hit off and we'll go out of play and we'll have a throw.
And those moments after an injury like that are so critical, and the courage almost got in right after having that substitution, and the Spirit dealt with that very well, and that's what happens in those moments too, where it's just some organization.
Hatch out wide, McKeown. Dabinia to the near side, and Jess McDonald. Back is Staub. Looking for Lynn Williams. That one hops over the leg of Sullivan, now sent away by Washington. McKeown. Dorian Bailey charging up. Looking for Rodman. Hatch. Lynn Williams out to Dabinia. Maybe an opportunity here for North Carolina. Good touch on that ball from Dabinia. Just a touch heavy, though.
It's a great ball in behind there, but you can see on both ends there's really no more than one run that's dangerous in each penalty area. So I'd love to see more, you know, not just the primary run, but the secondary runs. And as the game goes on, it gets tougher. You know, you've played a lot of minutes, but that could be the difference for one of these teams.
Tired legs playing a factor. Sullivan. O'Hara. That one off the stomach there. Maybe McKeown getting Kurtz with her leg. So there, Kurtz able to get up. A few minutes left in this first period of extra time. 2 15-minute period times will come, and then we'll go to the spot if need be, if we are still scoreless. Williams into Dabinia. Dabinia out wide. Speck. Recaro. Speck. Coming back is Helferty to break up. Now Helferty working her way up. Speck back. It's by her. Rodman. Working her way down the line. Pushing up, Mary Mathias trying to grab that shoulder. Dragged down is Rodman, and here's a free kick for Washington. One too many grabs there by Mathias.
And that's really all she could do, but that was due to Rodman. She did so well to fight off the first initial challenges and just took her 1v1 and said, you got to stay with me. And this touch is what matters, right in front, where Mathias either has to let her go or foul her. Those are the only two options.
Chance here for the Spirit. Casey Murphy has been big tonight for North Carolina. Does she have maybe another big save in her? Sullivan. Nothing can help lead Washington to victory as Sullivan plays it in.
I was wondering if she was going to go for goal there. Casey Murphy, her starting position, much more for the service, but not able to get it up and down over that wall.
Matthias on the near side. Recaro. Poked away, now Hatch. Hatch into the area, and that one stopped by Murphy. She was looking to go far post, but Murphy, once again, stopping the Spirit. McDonald. Helferty. Playing it out wide. And Urseg will play it back to Casey Murphy. Both goalkeepers with 8 saves in the game. O'Sullivan. Speck. The captain Urseg. Good job reading that pass by Rotter. Rodman returns it to Rotter. Rotter crossing, and a one-hop into the arms of Casey Murphy.
Both of these teams very capable of scoring off a counterattack, but there's moments like that where I'd like to see them enjoy possession in the final third as well, get more numbers forward, especially if it's clear you're not going to be able to beat someone in that 1v1 situation, just to have a more quality chance.
McKeown backing up as Urseg. That'll hit off the foot of Urseg, and a corner coming once again for Washington. Two minutes of stoppage time added on here in the first period of extra time. Great crowd out tonight here at Audi Field in our nation's capital. Sonic goes up for it, Hatch, and sent away by McDonald. O'Hara. Sullivan, Sonnet, back to Sullivan. Crossing, headed out by McDonald, but only as far as Rotter. Rotter fires away and right into the outstretched arms of Murphy.
And a good opportunity generated there by the Spirit. The Courage didn't step the line up on the corner kick on the clearance, so you can see them looking for offside call, but very, very good opportunity for the Spirit there off the foot of Rotter.
The high leg there by Helferty. Williams just not on the same page there as Dabinia. Might have been playing that to herself, trying to give herself some more space. McKeown to Rodman. Back to McKeown, Rodman. The shot blocked away once again by Murphy. Another great save by the Courage keeper.
That was such a quick release on the shot from Rodman. I don't even know how Casey Murphy saw that. It's so tight in here. A lot of people blocking the space. Quick release, able to get that on frame, and what a save.
Sonnet. And then The first period of extra time will come to a close. Casey, your thoughts on the first 15 minutes here?
There were some exciting moments. It really was back and forth. It's both teams are trying to go for it and really generate attacks.
The league's best goalkeeper during the regular season with 11 clean sheets, 96 saves, coming up big here in this quarterfinal game. First 15 minutes done of extra time. We have 15 minutes more to go. Will one of these teams find a goal here, or could we possibly see it go to the Spiders? We'll take a look back here at the highlights from the first 15 minutes of play here in extra time, and I think you're going to see a couple of saves from that woman right there in Casey Murphy.
I think you're right on that one. Very, very active in this first 15 minutes of extra time was Casey Murphy.
So we will hold off on those highlights at the moment as these players talk about what's expected from them here in this second 15 minutes of play. Of course, you want to get that goal. You want to give yourself the best opportunity to close it out before you have to worry about going to kicks. Winner of this one moves on to take on OL Reign next Sunday.
Yeah, and the differences are so small, and they'll take anything at this point, right? It doesn't have to be the prettiest goal. You just got to have that finishing touch. And I think the dynamic runs, having more people in the penalty area to create just numbers around those services that are happening, I think it's going to be so important for both of these sides.
Casey, you look at it as we have this second period of extra time coming. How much does, in terms of tired legs, maybe play a factor?
Oh, it can play a factor, definitely, but it's something that, you know, we've only got 15 minutes to be going here, and let's get after it.
You look at the bracket here, Chicago moving on with the victory over Gotham FC. Mallory Pugh with the goal in that one, assisted by Sarah Waldmo. They will take on the Portland Thorns at Providence Park. That one next Sunday at 5:30 Eastern. Still awaiting the winner as OL Reign back home watching this in Tacoma, wondering if they're going to play Washington or North Carolina next week at Cheney Stadium. That game will be at 3 Eastern. And, well, it's going to be an exciting semifinal weekend here in the NWSL. Of course, everything will come to a close on November 20th at Lynn Family Stadium. The NWSL Championship will be held 12 p.m. Eastern in Louisville, Kentucky. Tickets on sale right now at nwslsoccer.com/championship.
And we have a tight game here, obviously, right now, but just one moment in that earlier game as well for Pew putting it away. That's the difference during playoffs. It may not be these high-scoring games. It's all about moments, about people stepping up in big moments for their club.
The question is, who's going to be that player stepping up in this big moment for tonight? Well, Casey Murphy proving her worth tonight, as well as Aubrey Bledsoe for the Washington Spirit. Second 15 about to get underway here at Audi Field in our nation's capital. Beautiful crowd out there here enjoying every minute of this one tonight between these two teams. And it looks like we have another sub. It looks like Taylor Smith coming on for North Carolina. So Taylor Smith now in for Jess McDonald in North Carolina. Angarad James also coming in for Kerry Recaro. So some fresh legs here for Coach Sean Nahas. Smith trying to chip that one across to Lynn Williams. Sonnet to O'Hara. One just behind Dorian Bailey, allowing Meredith Speck to get it to it for North Carolina, but then too heavy of a touch.
and just able to step in and win that ball. Because of their system of play, the Courage are able to have that numerical superiority centrally. So would love to see the Spirit really try to use those wide spaces. They started to lose width in that first period of extra time. Everything was really tight, especially as they got closer to attacking the goal. But that width is something that can really help them try to spread out the North Carolina Courage.
Bailey will play it out wide to Rodder. Back inside to Dorian Bailey. McKeown. Bailey. Chance here for McKeown. McKeown turns to that left foot, sets up, blocked away by James. Chipped on, and offside is Ashley Hatch. Speck past the halfway line. James. Debinha. Looking to slip this one through to Lynn Williams. Debinha with a chance earlier in this game, but hit it off the woodwork. Otherwise, very much could be North Carolina Courage moving on to the semifinals against OL Reign. McKeown. And 3 meetings in the regular season, North Carolina, they were unable to ever get a victory. 2 losses and 1 draw. Trying to get one when it matters most, though, here on the road in the quarterfinals. Speck works her way inside. Pickett looking for Smith. Rodman. Bailey, pressured by Debinha. The Brazilian looking for Taylor Smith, headed down. Rodman looking for McKeown, but too heavy of a pass as Abby Urseg is able to break it up. Opportunity here for Smith and the Courage. Smith fires! Now one into the side of the netting, but she had a little space to roam there heading into the area, just could not get it on target.
And the ball played down the line for Smith, and she takes this touch, but just not really giving herself a great angle. Only 1 run in the box and goes for goal herself, but hitting that near side net.
Smith, though, with the fresh legs, they're able to create a little bit of separation from Sam Staub. Smith began the season with OL Reign before coming over to North Carolina. Pickett. Played out wide. Sullivan. Sullivan out. Just will play it back to midfield and Emily Sonnet. Hatch. Now Dabinia. Wanted to find Lynn Williams, but Williams just a little bit slow on that run as she was holding back. So Washington Spirit last time there in the playoffs, 2016. 4 straight years for North Carolina Courage making it to the NWSL playoffs. Helferty. O'Hara into the middle. Sullivan. Out to Rodman. The rookie, Rodman, right foot, and that one stopped initially. Hatch with the bump and roofs it for the goal for the Washington Spirit. The Golden Boot winner gets the first goal of the game here in extra time.
And what an opportunity from Trinity Rodman that she created. Sullivan finding her wide and just takes a great chance on goal. Enough pace on the ball to force that save. And there's better organization there. O'Hara finding the ball across, drawing people as Sullivan. She's in that higher position. And here, just isolating, pace on the ball, and a true goal scorer just looking for any kind of chance that can cause separation in this game, and Hatch able to put it away.
Oh, Casey Murphy with the initial save, but couldn't get the second one as Ashley Hatch gets the goal here in stoppage time. Golden Boot the winner this year with 10 goals in the regular season and a big goal here in the playoffs for the Washington Spirit as she looks to push her team on to face OL Reign next Sunday in Tacoma.
And now it'll be interesting to see what changes the Courage make as they have these final minutes to really push for that equalizer.
Chris Ward has just talked about the joy that Ashley Hatch has found about this last month and a half, and really the player that she is for this team, what she does, becoming more of a leader, the way that she gets back defensively to help out, getting a big goal on the rebound created by the rookie, Trinity Rodman. This one played on by Sullivan. Rodman will play it back, looking for Rodder. North Carolina looking to play quickly to Taylor Smith. Sent well into the stands by Sam Staub. Chances that could have been for North Carolina tonight. You had the shot attempt by Dabinia go off the woodwork. You had Taylor Smith a few moments back where it looked like she had an angle, but she sent it to the side of the webbing, and now we will have another substitution come on for Washington as Paige Nielsen will come on for Dorian Bailey.
And a defensive-minded substitution here for the Spirit in these final minutes. Just really trying to steady everything with that substitution. And Bailey's been great in the midfield, a really steadying presence for them in midfield. But Paige Nielsen, a lot of experience defensively for the Spirit.
Before tonight, we had never had a game scoreless at the end of regulation in playoffs. And, well, you had the first part of extra time, the first 15, that one ending scoreless, and then Ashley Hatch with a big goal here, and now McKeown into the channel. Abby Urseg over. For North Carolina, they have not been held scoreless in a playoff game since 2017 in the final versus Portland, and a 1-0 loss in that championship. Pickett. Now you have to think North Carolina's going to start sending more numbers here up as they look for that equalizer. Dabinia. Williams. Outside. Matthias gets around Rodman. Looking for Taylor Smith.
And the game management piece from the Spirit is important as well. As these numbers start to come forward, different types of services into the box, how do they gain some seconds here? Bledsoe doing that now a little bit, just getting everyone up, but there's other opportunities to really see out the game.
Bledsoe looking for her first clean sheet ever in the NWSL playoffs. Rodman. Rodman to that far corner, now turns in. Rodder. She'll play back to midfield. Staub. Rodman there knocked over by Kaylee Kurtz. And now we will have another sub. Sori Takarada will come in, and Trinity Rodman will come off. And what a night here for the 20-year-old for the Washington Spirit. Not going to be credited with that assist on the goal by Ashley Hatch, as Casey Murphy made the stop and the save. Really, that hockey assist you can talk about. But
right.
What a game for the rookie. Just has gotten better and better as the season has progressed.
We talked about it was going to take a moment of detail, right? Just getting enough pace on that if she doesn't score herself, that there's a second opportunity.
Now Mary Mathias, the player down on the touchline for North Carolina. And now Ryan Williams will come on. So Mary Mathias will stay off the field as Williams will sub on for her. Couple minutes away from Washington Spirit moving on to the semifinals for the first time since 2016. There, hugs all around for Trinity Rodman. McKeown to that corner flag, wasting time. Smith. Takarada getting her first touch. Hatch. Sullivan. Sullivan. That one blocked initially, now covered up and scooped up by Casey Murphy. Looking to spring a quick counter. Time winding down in this game between North Carolina and the Spirit. North Carolina looking for a game-tying goal. Home goal in this one coming from Ashley Hatch, as she looks to send her team on to the semifinals to take on OL Reign next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern.
And this is part of the game management piece. You can just see the experience of Kelly O'Hara drawing a foul there, as she knows that they're pushing and pushing to get the equalizer, and it buys so much time as they manage the end of the game here.
O'Sullivan. Pickett. Pickett looking for Smith. Good hustle here by Smith to get in position. Smith looking for Dabinia, sent away. Have to think maybe one or two more chances possibly for North Carolina to find that equalizer. Washington looking for their first playoff win since 2016. And there is handball. You could hear the entire crowd as well as the players shout out handball.
Just getting the assist from the spectators, right?
Washington Spirit unbeaten in their last 9 regular season games. Take away the 2 games they forfeited, have won their last 4 straight to close out the regular season. Looking to continue on that trend as they look for their first victory here in the playoffs, as McKeown will turn away. Urseg high into the air, off the head of Takarada. And there is the whistle in this one, and the Washington Spirit get the win at home, and they will move on to the semifinals to take on OL Reign. Casey, your thoughts?
We can see what this means, right? It takes one moment to make a difference in these playoffs. All these teams playing at such a high level, but Ashley Hatch showed up when it mattered, and these goalkeepers, just the way they performed to make this such a tight game was so fun to watch.
That one moment coming from Ashley Hatch off a rebound shot by Trinity Rodman. Hatch would just bury it in to the top right corner to give Washington Spirit the 1-0 victory over the North Carolina Courage, a game that did not disappoint tonight at Audi Field. We'll step aside. We'll be back with highlights and stats between the Washington Spirit and North Carolina Courage as Washington wins at home 1-0 here in the quarterfinals. The NWSL quarterfinals presented by Budweiser, in this quarterfinal match between Washington Spirit and North Carolina Courage did not disappoint, going to extra time, and ultimately this is where Washington would come up victorious.
One moment was needed. It took a long time in this game, but a great shot by Trinity Rodman, and then Ashley Hatch there to get the rebound. She makes no mistake about it with that finish, and they're spraying the ball wide as Andy Sullivan isolating here. Causes a save from Casey Murphy, trying to make the second save. No defenders there to help her, and Ashley Hatch, just in true goal scorer fashion, able to put it away.
The lone mistake there from Casey Murphy, just could not cover that ball up. Otherwise, a tremendous game for her, as well as Aubrey Bledsoe getting the clean sheet. Washington Spirit now 2 games away from possibly playing in Louisville as they get the victory here tonight. They will move on to the semifinals, take on OL Reign in Tacoma, 3 Eastern next week. Right here, we'll have that for you on CBS. And Casey, your thoughts here real quick before we go away.
I mean, they're in great form right now, so this is a game that people are not going to want to miss. OL Reign playing so well the last half of the season, and Washington Spirit in great form right now.
And then you also look at on the other side of the bracket, the Portland Thorns will be hosting the Chicago Red Stars, who got a victory earlier tonight by a score of 1-0, but a big goal there by the Golden Boot winner and Ashley Hatch to close this one out and give the Spirit a victory at home. They will now make their way on the road for the semifinals as they will head across the country to take on OL Reign, and it just gets more and more exciting as the semifinals are up next here in the NWSL playoffs. It's going to be a fun weekend next weekend for our crew. For Casey White, I am Josh Toll.